Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Strider's GorillaSquadCast. Today we're going to be discussing a more personal topic, but it's meant to be reflective. It's meant to be something that will instigate growth. You see, growth is incredibly important. It's incredibly important because if we stay the same our entire lives, we get stuck. I've seen it around me. People have gotten stuck. And if you're like me, you'll understand what I'm saying. Growth is necessary, and growth never stops unless you decide to stop growing. And that is ultimately on you. You see, folks, it's so important. It's so important. When we have a state of lucidity and clarity, doors open up, your general mood is elevated, and you're happier because you feel a sense of reward from having a new perspective on life. This is incredibly important to overall good mental health. You see, I was, before GorillaSquadCast, before all of that, all of this, I felt suppressed. I felt like people around me didn't understand me. I felt that people didn't respect me. I felt so small. I felt like I couldn't achieve anything. My whole life, in so many words, was just people talking me down from success and from accomplishment and achievement. And though, yes, maybe I have some things that hold me back, as I believe most people actually do, it's just different depending on each person. The real test is being able to overcome it and champion yourself. Now, and just, but in a natural way. You see, ego is important for self-preservation and is a very small piece of self-respect, but true self-respect is the forgiveness and love of all aspects of oneself. You see, balance is incredibly important. If one is not balanced, one has nothing. This is based in, well, understanding the philosophies of the yin and yang, good and bad, dark, light, and how one must have balance of these things. You see, too much of a singular side of this discussion can lead to unbalance, but true balance is mastering both and accepting both. You see, a lot of us like to pretend that we're 100% good all the time, and that, morally speaking, that, we eventually thrust forward a side of ourselves that is the best version of ourselves. Which, if you look into the theory of like the multiple masks, I'm not super well versed on that, but I am confident enough to know that I know the general message of it, which is that we have three masks. and one of them is our everyday positive, good mask. Another one is the mask that our family and friends see. And the last mask is perhaps an illusion we have set for ourselves, like our hopes, aspirations, and dreams, which the illusion can become reality if one is focused and can manifest it and believes in it to such a deep level and works towards it consistently. It can become achieved. And then I guess maybe that's part of the last mask. The lack of a mask. That's you at your core. Your emotions, your trauma, maybe resolved or unresolved. Who you really, really are. Who you really are. Probably naive, sweet. That's the real best version of yourself. No ego, no masks, just you. Like when you were a kid, before the world caused you to change. As of recording of this episode, it is October 2022. GorillaSquadCast. I am exceptionally proud to say that I've received a few emails from some analytics companies, and GorillaSquadCast, which is, albeit a new podcast, and all of the promotion I do. My name is, obviously James, the host of the podcast here. I do all the promotion. I do all of the content. I do everything on it. And it ranked number 100. If you think about how many podcasts exist, this isn't really that bad. It's ranked number 100 in comedy fiction on Apple Podcasts. Now, when I saw that, I was amazed because, as much as that may not seem like, oh, well, you gotta be number one. Sure, Joe Rogan is like number one, you know what I mean? And nobody's saying that, that one can't get to that level. But considering how new this podcast is and how new I am to doing podcasting, and the fact I don't have a really, like, a big budget behind this production, everything has come out of my pocket. Equipment, production time, everything. So to reach number 100 in comedy fiction, which is the focus of this podcast, is exceptionally important. And the reason this is relevant is because this is a result of manifestations, which is a result of growth and change, which is a result of a catalyst to do so. You see, in life, sometimes we have to change. Situations that force us to really reset ourselves on a deeper level. I had something like that in 2019, an event that was highly caustic and life-altering, that also included a near-death experience. I've done a lot of readings on near-death experiences and the psychological impact of that since then, but I will say this: it has single-handedly been the thing that caused me that has redirected me from the darker path that I was headed down at that time, a younger me, 24 years old, to the path I'm on now, which is a more balanced individual than even a couple of years ago, where I was more focused on light and positive. And this year, I realized that is considered toxic positivity when you cannot accept your own darkness. So I had to do that. I had to accept my own darkness. However, we don't need to let that darkness control us, because darkness is like that. It's seductive. It wants you to lose control. It wants you to to lose everything. It wants you to lose your mind. It wants control. But as someone who is still in the learning process, but does light practice of Buddhist spirituality, practice in philosophy, mindset training, it removes actually the dualistic nature of yin and yang, good and bad, but it also applies it, because the idea is it's never been that it doesn't exist, good and bad don't exist. It's that the more evolved understanding is that we all, every single being, every human, dog, cat, anything, zebra, we all have that in us. Those more animalistic, more primal inhibitions, so to speak, I guess, and that doesn't mean it doesn't sound, I know how this sounds. Anyway, it's not like that. But it's just part of balance. One has to accept both aspects of themselves. So that is why change is so important. And it is October, after all, like I mentioned. The leaves are changing. It's beautiful outside. Finally, things are... the reason I've been gone so long, also, to paint the larger picture, is... I was previously living and working out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I absolutely adore North Carolina, and Charlotte in particular, as well as Asheville and Wilmington. If you know, you know. I am originally from Connecticut, and there was a series of events that caused me to have to relocate back to Connecticut. But my journey in early 2020 to basically a couple of months ago, when I had finally left North Carolina, was extremely positive for the most part until towards the end, and was, even if it wasn't positive, it was impactful and was a massive learning experience. It showed me that there was other places in the world besides where I come from, and that is so incredibly important. I've learned so much, and another key thing about all of that is circling back to the changing thing is I have changed. That chapter has come to a close. That chapter really is closing, and so you look at the leaves changing colors from summer to winter, where the leaves fall off. You're kind of in a natural hibernation, right? Now, as humans, we don't go into hibernation, but it's almost like a same life reincarnation, a death and a rebirth. And I believe in rebirth, but this time it's balanced. It finally feels like I'm getting it right. Now, if you relate and can understand what I've been talking about here today, feel free to leave a comment, follow the podcast. I actually you can message me on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere socially. Let me know your thoughts. I am really looking forward to seeing what people think about all of this, and this is just the beginning of the second half of GorillaSquadCast Season 2. I've got 5 or 6 episodes already in the lineup, just going into the production phase. Conceptually, script-wise, everything's already done. Just needs to go into production, recording and production. and I'm going to be hyping those up quite a bit. I'm going to be adding some budget to my ad campaign. I'm probably gonna, I'm thinking possibly either next month or maybe December. I'm gonna head over to New York City, which I think actually some of you have actually heard of me from New York City because of an ad campaign that we did, myself and Elijah Illustrates. We did a little bit of an ad campaign sort of thing where we brought a bunch of QR stickers with nothing attached, like there's no labeling or anything on them, just QR codes, slapped them all over Manhattan, Times Square. We did a quick random like video thing in a rap video. We were dancing in the background. I don't know who that rapper is. I wish I asked because that was fucking hilarious and I want to see it. Shout out to whoever that was. That same day, we also ran over to the Colbert building and talked some shit there. It was funny because it was locked and closed. And there was Tonight Show, I believe. Yeah. And as well as saying happy birthday to Oprah, which was a separate thing, but on the same day. And we did some dancing with the mascots, and I had a QR code on my hat, so if you see me in any video with a QR code on my hat, that's me. But it wasn't just the life events that had stopped me from doing this podcast again, or continuing it, and caused a massive hiatus. It was also myself. I had been dealing with so much stress in my personal life that I had a result of that was feeling like inadequate to a certain extent. I felt like the podcast had some growth, but it didn't have the amount of growth I wanted. I wanted more, but I had to temper my expectations to be realistic. So I realized that I had not put too much time and money into my advertising and marketing. So it just really, manual stuff on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and everything, TikTok. That's the biggest thing. That and getting more and more guests. That's my next moves too. I'm gonna have I'm looking to get some more, more friends of mine that are also talented people for the Interesting People interview series. But I also want to start having people be co-hosting these episodes with me. I want to have a good discussion, something relevant and significant. And fun, of course. I mean, we have a ton of fun on this podcast. We have so many laughs. It's a great time. But we can also get serious and really talk when we need to. And I love this space for that. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being supporters of my podcast and supporting this dream of mine. Even though it's just getting off the ground, it's so impactful to me. I really, really appreciate it. Seeing how many people have listened to it so far is mind-blowing. I'm like, holy crap, that's, XYZ amount of people. That's just individual people. It's crazy. Also, man, I can't give all my techniques away, but there's been some exciting developments in the realm of the thumbnail art, which I was having some roadblocks with too. And just look forward to seeing some really compelling images on these episode thumbnails. Not to mention frequency of uploading. Going to be doing trying to push for bi-weekly episodes, and if that is not feasible, or if that is feasible, then I will go back to moving to weekly episodes. The amount of production's gotten easier. I've gotten better at it, but it always has its challenges, especially when I'm trying to push it and learn more things. But I'm looking forward to having more content put out there, and I've got another top secret project under wraps that I cannot discuss right now, but I'm also working on. So, stay tuned, keep your ears open. Thanks for joining me on my walk today, enjoying the beautiful autumn nature. It's all love. Thank you for taking your time out, and I'm looking forward to you seeing what we have planned. This is the GorillaSquadCast. I'm James. Peace.